All right. So, I'm going to do a little podcast for you here. There's really no need to look at the screen. Um, you can just put this on while you're driving or doing something else and just listen to the old man ranting about current things happening in the community, in the FGC, or rather the KOFGC, so the things that are relevant to us. Now, and I say us because I ran a poll on YouTube community asking about who's actually following me, and the majority, in fact, so far from what I see, 100% of you are either casual or hardcore players. So for you guys just jumping in here and all casual and stuff, that's cool. Come join us. We're always open and hoping to expand our love for the game or the games. So anyway, enough of that. I'm already rambling already. But today I want to talk about a couple of things that have been happening on the social networks. So first of all, we've got on the agenda today, we've got KOF14 for Switch. We've got talking about Samurai Showdown and the complexity of it. The sales of fighting games in Japan recently. A new project on Orochinagi. SNK Heroines at Level Up series, and politics in my feed, and maybe some other stuff if we have time. Just what's going on Twitter. I want to keep this down to half an hour maximum. Maybe even 10 minutes would be good. We don't want to bore everyone, so we'll see what we can do. Right, so first of all, let's talk about the rumor of Switch getting KOF 14. Now, if you've read the interview where Oda was hinting at games, more SNK games going to the Switch platform, let's talk about this, because first of all, he didn't actually specifically say that. Of course, looking at responses to this rumor, a lot of people are interested in that, and some players want to just have it just so that they can play KOF 14 on the move. Now, if you've seen SNK Heroines, you have to wonder to yourself, is this actually possible? Can the Switch actually handle this? Because the Switch port of SNK Heroines by Abstraction Games runs at 30 frames a second. That's 30 FPS, which is not really good. Although, some people just look at that number and scoff rather than actually just looking at the game and actually playing it, a bit like what happened with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on PS3. It's like it's a good game and everything, and a lot of haters just say, it's 30 FPS, I'm not touching that. Whereas, did that make any difference to the actual gameplay? No. But hey, it's something to consider, and if you put the two versions side by side, you can quite simply see that the PS4 version looks superior, just simply from the frame rate. The gameplay might be the same, it probably is the same, but you're going to just have problems when quite simply people are just going to argue and moan and complain because one version looks smoother than the other. Now, of course, the other point to consider, of course, is that we never really had a real confirmation, but we're pretty sure, judging by the way that Sony was promoting the game, that they had a hand in producing this, or maybe they came to some agreement. Of course, this might be time limited, so that now SNK is more free to do stuff with the IP. Is that going to be a good thing? Is there going to be enough interest? It's always a good thing to expand a title, and for example, Xbox has had none of it, and there's a whole market out there, a whole group of people who haven't had the chance to play KOF 14 because it's just not available on their platform. Today, of course, there's not that many consoles to fight with, but you've got Switch, you've got Xbox One, and you've got the PS4. I don't know if I'm missing anything, but that's the main ones that come to mind. Yes, and of course we have PC, but we are catering for, SNK is catering for that. So if you want to see KOF 14 on Switch, you can leave a comment. It does look like there's interest, but I'm not sure it's possible. Technically possible. I'm not sure it's technically possible. You can tell me if you think that if you think the Switch can handle this kind of game easily. Let me know. Or whether you think it's just Abstraction Games isn't doing a good enough job. Because what's going on with SNK Heroines? Why is it running at 30 FPS? I'm not a Switch expert. I don't know that much about the Switch, but it looks to me like the Switch is not really that capable. But you can let me know in the comments again if you think I'm completely wrong. Now, moving on to the next topic, which is Samurai Showdown. I've been playing a bit of Samurai Showdown 5 Special, and I quite like it. It is a very, very different game, and it's like when you switch from KOF14 to, well, I was going to say SNK Heroines, but that's just even more. Oh no, it is just a different type of game. Samurai Showdown is apparently, and I certainly agree with it, more known for being a kind of, I have the impulse to say footsies, but it's not really footsies. It's more like bladesies or swordsies. And although some characters don't really use a blade, they've got fires and fists and stuff and feet, so whatever you like. But it is more a kind of, you kind of baiting out a move and you're trying to punish it, or you're trying to punish it before they get their move out. So it's not, there are combos in the game. You can kind of rush down on characters as well, but it's really about finding the opening and inflicting your biggest hit. So I think Samurai Shodown is, at a deeper level, a real game about mind reading and predicting your opponent. Or you can just mash the button and just chop and see what happens. A lot can happen in this game, and there's a lot of life that can be lost. And as you know, things can get quite hairy when Haomaru starts pressing that A and B button. But as again, with Samurai Shodown 5 Special, there's a very, very deep level of complexity, in my opinion, especially coming from KOF, when you thought that was complex enough. But you've got some very, very difficult inputs, very strange inputs, and then the dodge button itself is a whole world of things. You can hop up, back, duck down. You can parry, and then you've got the rage meter, which can obviously increase the strength of your attack. You've even got a sword meter, which again, once that runs out, you're going to be in trouble, so you can't mash that much. It's very, very complex, and it makes you wonder what they're going to do with the new version that's headed for PS4, which is due next year, apparently. Most probably, I should say, we do put a lot of weight on FGC events, but I think there's a good reason to, because there is a big fat market of hardcore players watching these events, especially Evolution. Even if it's to broadcast geese to a whole load of people who might be young and don't know who the hell he is, it's gonna spread the name regardless, so it's kind of worth it. So yeah, probably going to be ready for Evo. I have to say, it's probably going to be ready for Evo, and if not, that's a bit of a missed opportunity. But we don't have to rely on Evo. If SNK wants to spend lots of marketing money on the traditional methods, such as going off to IGN and showering them with champagne and so forth, and that's a cynical view. That does not actually happen. But anyway, because if that was true, then SNK Heroines would be getting high marks all over the board. But no, although they got quite good review in Famitsu. That's another topic for another time. Now, so yeah, I'm not really sure what's going to happen, and as you may remember, when we were talking about Angel being introduced into KOF 14, we all kind of thought she was going to get dumbed down. I was pretty confident she was going to get dumbed down, so that a lot more people could just use her and she could be more accessible. And that didn't happen. What was going on there? I don't know. And she's still quite a difficult character to use. All the chain systems and whatnot. It's just a completely another set of things to do, and you need to be quite fast. You need to put in a lot of work. And that's kind of one of the things that people just don't do these days. They want to, get in, mash some buttons, and have a good time, and then ditch the game. But we're going to talk a bit more about that in a minute, actually. Let me just change my slides. There we are. Bit of variety for you there. Like if any of you are actually watching this, because you shouldn't really. You should just listen and get on with other stuff. Do your homework or something. Right. So, Samurai Showdown. I'm a bit worried. I don't know what's going to happen, and this leads to the next argument, or rather the next point about making a game easy. Does it equate to good sales? That might not seem important to a games player, but it's very important to the company, because sales means development. A lot of people love to ask for stuff. And just to completely throw a completely random other game in here, we're talking about Monster Hunter World. And a lot of the players are complaining about there's no new monsters. All the current monsters are just kind of recolors of older monsters with a bit more difficulty and a bit of extra this and that, but no new real monsters at all. All of these monsters cost money to develop. You get a team of guys, you work on this thing, you make this thing, and a lot of the time these are your permanent staff in an ideal world. And in a more economic market, you outsource and get some guys work on your thing, and then you get rid of them, which is not really cool. But yeah, but that's it. So you've got a limited time to use these resources, because then they have got to go work on something else. So the point is, then when you've made a game and then you're producing DLC or whatever extra content, you've got to consider, as a company, you have to consider, is it worth the money you're going to invest in paying these developers to work on some DLC rather than the next big project? And so when players are asking for all of this stuff, they have to, or they don't, right? They just don't consider these things. But when you think about why you're not getting what you want extra content for your game, even if you want to pay for it or not, you gotta look at why you're not getting it. And the reason why you're probably not getting it is because it's not worth the money for the developer and the company itself. Because if you've got 100 people saying, hey, where's my new DLC, I want some stuff, 100 people, and even if these 100 people buy the DLC, it's not going to cover the cost of paying the salary of X amount of developers to work 6 weeks or whatever it is, 100 hours under a desk with no time to go for a shower. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. So there has to be a lot of people playing the game, buying the game, and then also buying the DLC. Otherwise, there's no point. So when a lot of people, for example, right now, this point in November 2018, people are asking for new DLC for KOF 14. It's just quite simply not going to happen, because there's just not enough demand for it. It's just a simple matter of that. And there are times where companies are not listening, and they're blind, and they're silly, and they're just deaf, and there are a whole load of people asking for stuff. That can happen. But at this point, it doesn't seem to me that there's enough people asking for KOF DLC to that makes it worth SNK paying or even diverting their development team to work on this DLC rather than, for example, Samurai Showdown. And we also know that they've started work on KOF 15, very early stages. So I keep saying it should be obvious, but it's not obvious, because a lot of people are always, they're players, and that's, they're focused on the game. Why should they be worried about business and things like that? It's just boring. But quite simply, let's just put yourself in their shoes. SNK is working on Samurai Showdown and KOF 15. They have a very specific, I don't know if they're outsourcing them, I don't know that, but let's just imagine that they have a team of developers. If you break up this team and say, right, I want you to work on the KOF 14 DLC, that slows down the release of KOF15. And remember that we have deadlines. Every time there's a specific deadline. And for example, let's say the deadline is we want this game to be out before Evolution 2019. Right? To start our massive marketing plan, we want this game to be ready. And that means really we want the game to be a bit out before, because we want players to start playing it before Evolution. And as I said, Evolution's not the most important thing ever, but it's a nice, relatively cheap way to start marketing a game, because hey, like I said, if you've got I don't know, X thousand people, well, not thousand, I don't know, maybe 1,000 people sitting in an arena watching a big screen, and you flash up your game there. That's a pretty good marketing point there, right there. So of course there are other fees to pay for that and stuff like that, but in general, if you remember, like, advertising on TV, that is crazy amounts of money. Television has a huge audience, and that's crazy amounts of money in comparison to Evolution, or even just like shoving it on a couple of video game websites. The cost of that is going to be relatively cheap. So you got to maximize that marketing budget. You don't have infinite amounts of cash. People keep expecting smaller companies to just throw away loads of money on stuff, which should be effective, but people have got to have their salaries paid. People got to eat and stuff. So this money's got to come from somewhere, right? Now, I can't really say SNK is that small now. They're doing better. They're doing better. They're getting bigger. But the arcade game division is not the biggest part of SNK maybe right now. I'm not an expert. I don't know things. But if you're the boss of SNK, that's now in China. If you're the best at SNK and you look at KOF14 sales and you look at sales of the KOF mobile, which one do you think you're going to invest more money in? Interesting. Which one's going to get me lots more cash? But kudos to SNK now for still going forward. That means at least either the boss is a big fan, or he sees a decent amount of profit coming out of KOF 14 and is interested in taking a risk with KOF 15 and Samurai Showdown. And again, Samurai Showdown for me is a hell of a risk, because if you look at people now getting interested in Samurai Showdown 5 Special, that's 14 years too late. And people are telling me, yeah, I'm playing it on Fightcade or whatever it's called. And you're like, well, that's great, honey. That's not really putting any money into SNK's pocket, is it? That's not showing them, hey, this is a great game to develop because, we're all playing it for free. Wait, what? Wait, how does that pay our bills? But, some people have picked it up on PS4. So that's cool. That's definitely helping out the developers there. But it's not to say that playing the game at all is a bad thing for SNK. It's a kind of not a spiral, but it has a spreading effect where if you have a game, for example, and you play it for free for 10 years or whatever, it has a ripple. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a ripple of effect, because it makes you want to play other parts of the genre or other parts of the series, perhaps, and maybe buy some merchandise. So in that way, it's kind of okay. It's kind of worthwhile for SNK to kind of not exactly encourage that, but it's not like it's the end of the world for them. In it, for example, it helps on stream numbers. It helps just for general exposure of the game. So again, it does ripple out. But if you've played emulators all your life and never spent one penny on SNK, well, yeah, that's not exactly a help. But if you spread the word about SNK games and tell everyone it's a good game, you might get someone to buy a game, and that is awesome. So there we go. What was I ranting about now? Okay. Yes, we were talking about making the game easier, and does that equate to sales? Now, if we looked at current sales in Japan recently, and I think it was Media Crate sale results, we could see that BB Tag had less sales than SNK heroines, and this is kind of surprising because, of course, this is sales for Japan, not for the West, not for Europe, not for USA. I have no idea what those sales figures are like, but if we look at Japan, we always think about Japan as the kind of the home, the headquarters rather, of fighting games, and their tastes are quite different, but generally the same. And BB Tag was a big kind of project, and it was really good and interesting to see how the easier gameplay could attract a lot of players, and hell, you're just going to build up the scene from there, and maybe as a kind of gateway to harder games and so forth. And I remember playing BB Tag at Stunfest, and I thought it was quite fun and easy to jump into and stuff, and it was cool. I had fun with it. Now, again, looking at the sales, the top seller for fighting games was, I think, some anime title, and they kind of mix a few things in there. And then the top seller was, I've forgotten. I have to go find it now. But it was something like something, and then it was Tekken 7, and then it was, that's right, no, it was Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z, then it was Tekken, then it was Street Fighter 5, then it was something, and then it was KOF14, then there was something else, or like One Piece or something like that, and then there was, I really should find that stupid thing. I'll try and find it now. Good grief, you guys are killing me. Let's not ramble too much. Alright, so bear with me. I'm just going to go try and see if I can find it. This is going to be ages ago. But actually, just running through my Twitter feed, I guess we'll skip forward and do a couple of things about the Twitter feed while I'm looking for this. Quick shout out to events coming up. Couch Warriors was helping promote the Gold Coast Showdown for SNK Gathering of Australia, which is happening on November the 9th to the 11th. And don't forget, of course, you can find out about upcoming events at orochinagi.com/events. Have a look at the calendar, and you can see what's going on in the world when it comes to KOF events. Speaking of Orochinagi, of course, we have not reopened, but we are reposting some gallery images. So the best artworks I'm collecting on Orochinagi now. And of course, we are still working on the travel guides and things for Japan, and we're going to expand that, of course, to kind of across the world. Things to do, landmarks to visit that you've seen in the game. Yakuza fans might be interested in that, especially. Of course, the 40th anniversary collection for SNK is coming out, and the 6 free DLC titles have been announced. So check that out. You can go to NIS America and have a look over there. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, some nice. So as I said, if you want to check out some cool fan art, go to orochinagi.com. You can rate the best ones. Yeah, a lot of new Samurai Showdown artwork is coming up, which is quite interesting. We also have the TQOF project coming up on Orochinagi. That's led by Artico. So he's going to be advertising that, so keep an eye out for that. Can't tell you much more about it. It's an interesting project. Yeah, I won't say anything more, but check that out. Coming soon. Let me see. Where is this? Sales. Oh yeah, that was funny. If you are, of course, following me on Twitter, this is absolutely old news to you, but you should follow me on Twitter. And oh wow, that should be at the top. Pop that up there. Right, somebody hacked the King of Fighters 98 ranks, the ACA version on PS4. They've got a top score of 555555555. That's totally legit. And coming from Brazil. And shout outs to their president-elect, who looks like a really nice guy, with lots of comments about having a a son who's dead rather than being homosexual, and things like not loving torture, but something about would like to use torture because it's effective or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. Can't remember exactly what he said, but I'm not seeing some nice things posted about him right now. So good luck to Brazil. Let's see. Oh, and shout outs, of course, Yakuza Kiwami will be coming out November 6th. You need to pick up this game if you like anything about Japan and beat 'em ups. That is awesome. Totally free on PSN Network Plus. Oh yes, and yeah, we are still running the Wednesday SNK Heroines online meetup for some fun and frolics, although the connection between countries is a bit difficult. So we would like some people kind of more closer to either England or Paris or Italy or Luxembourg. That would be nice, so we can get some better connections there. Oh, had a new t-shirt out. Only for limited periods. You'll just have to find that. If you see it, you've seen it. But any Yuri fans might enjoy that one. Where is this stupid list? Oh, my days. Oh, it's just here today, gone tomorrow. That's the problem with Twitter. But I think I'm gonna find it. Right, I'm going to give up in a second if I don't find it in a minute. Hold on. Oh yeah, so if anyone was wondering, right, somebody was saying that one of the KOF stages is based on one of the Osaka stadiums, but I asked Shavi from SNK and he wasn't sure about it, so I don't have a lead on that at the moment. But it's interesting because I checked out Osaka Stadium and that thing got changed a few times or closed down, and in fact at one point there was a famous picture of it with full of houses and stuff, but in fact that was a housing exposition which confused a lot of people taking photos. They're like, what is this, Attack on Titan building a city inside Osaka Stadium? That's incredible. Yeah, the truth was a little bit further from the fantasy. Oh, might be here. Wow, this is like days ago. Yeah, no, I don't know where it is. It's I don't know where it is, mate. It's gone. Never mind. But just to say, yeah, BB Tag is, yeah, I think it's on Steam as well, and you can see that BlazBlue Central Fiction has a lot more players online, and BB Tag has just been decreasing. And it's kind of the kind of thing when you appeal to the mainstream. No offense to you mainstream casual guys, but it's like you pick up a game, play it for 3 weeks, and then ditch it. That's what kind of makes you casual. And to be honest, if you bought the game, well, cool, whatever. That's great. So the problem for a gaming company, it's funny how things have completely changed from how they used to be, but the problem now for a gaming company, or rather the opportunity, is that of course they can make more money if they produce DLC. And whereas people like to complain about DLC and all that, fans actually want more DLC. We've been round that route now. We've been down that road. It's just clear now. It's done. People say, I don't want DLC. Horrible. Which is absolutely, totally true. I don't really want DLC. Why would you want to pay more money to get content? Why? Nobody wants that. But the fact is, SNK gave you 50 characters in KOF 14, and that just simply wasn't enough. So you want them to make more DLC for free? No, that's not how it works. Right? You got, like I said, you got to pay those developers, pay them, get their bills paid, make some more stuff, and that means less time to work on their other projects, on the next big game or whatever. But when the game is really popular, people want more characters, more stages, more skins and stuff. So, well, somebody's got to pay for it. So yeah, we've got to charge for it. That makes perfect sense to me. So, of course, when people are saying, "Oh, well, this company planned to have this DLC," well, that's different, isn't it? But that's also still a risk for that company, because as you can see with KOF14, quite simply, we didn't even get a skin for Mai. It's like, what? But that has to be based on a projection of sales from the current DLC set. And it's like, if those DLCs don't sell, then it just means that it's not worth working on more. It's just not worth it. So that's why we didn't get all the skins. We didn't get skins for... Did we even get a skin for Cooler? So many things, so many dreams are just shattered there. But it's just a matter of sales. It didn't sell. Can't spend the time developing on that. So, you know, it wasn't planned in the first place as well. So it was like, what? Oh man. But there you go. That's how it goes. Right. So what are we talking about now? Okay. So we've talked about that's it. So to summarize that point, BB Tag sales were not great. SNK Heron sales were not that great. They were fine. They definitely made the company some money, but they're not amazing, right? And those games were designed to be easy to play. So whereas, you know, you got Soul Calibur 6, and from what I can see, that's just actually that's a very good point as well. It's a very fun it's a fun game, and it's pretty damn good to look at, right? And I'm wondering really if the real link between sales is not really about playability, it's just about graphics. You have something that looks pretty, you can make it as difficult as you want, it doesn't matter. Somebody, you know, casually playing the game is just going to mash their stick, and they're going to pay for it, and they're going to be happy, and that's it. Done, finished. So I'm not sure if making a game easy is going to increase sales, or it's going to get make people better at video games, or introduce them to fighting games and have them get the mindset, you know. I'm not sure it's worth it. If you think that's something, if you've got any opinion about that, you can leave a comment. Let me know what you think about that, because that is it. I think that's an interesting topic, and that, I think, closes up that part about sales and easiness of games. I think really it's just graphics. It's just been a whole waste of time. Now, so we talked about that. Yes, Level Up series is currently discussing the idea of having SNK Heroines on I think it's Wednesdays in the US, and quite simply is, again, it's a lot of KOF players like, this game is too crazy, it's too easy, it's just nonsense, it's not the style of thing I like. And that could be a good thing for SNK Heroines, because that means you're not going to have that typically killer guy from KOF turning up at your event and just destroying everyone. You could have no KOF players whatsoever. You have a completely different crowd, and you can build something from there. And maybe if you've got decent at the game, you could be the new person who wipes everyone out, the new boss, the new person to avoid. Oh no, it's that guy. Can't we have casual games? Maybe. And in an ideal world, everyone is at the same level, just mashing buttons, having fun, you know, chilling, discussing waifus and stuff, and that's it. So if you're interested in that idea, go tell Level Up series. I've retweeted it today. Hope you're following me on Twitter, because then you'd see it. And good luck to them. SNK Heroines is definitely, I think, going to be a definite... well, it could go anywhere, anyway. And we've got, of course, in about 10 or so days, Miss X launching, and a lot of people are going to buy the game just for that. Yeah, it's crazy, I know, but they're going to buy the game just for Miss X. I don't understand it, but that's the way it is. So whether the game takes off, I don't know. Generally the kind of feedback from definitely the KOF community is quite negative, for various reasons, gameplay, presentation, stuff like that. But the mainstream is more different. It's more positive. But again, with mainstream, they don't stick around. So, you know, it's like the 3 weeks for SNK Heroines is already up. It's already up. So I don't know what will happen after Miss X. And of course, the Japanese fan base is completely different. They're a bit more open to strange character DLCs. But enough about that. We'll see what happens at the next announcement. So make sure you stay tuned to SNK Heroines on Twitter for SNK. Follow SNK Global. And we're already at 44 minutes, so I've got to wrap this up quickly. I don't want to spill over into boredom, which you probably already are. Now, so the last point I wanted to make was about politics in my feed. Some people were talking about why people have politics when it should be just a game channel. Now, of course, if you're listening to this, you're listening to me. My name is Alan Francois. You may know me as Gunsmith from Orochinagi.com. I am a person. I am not paid by SNK to talk to you about games. I do what I like because I enjoy it. And one of the things that happened to me over the last 20 years of messing around with video games is that I noticed that there are politics everywhere. Talking about the best wife, talking about the best character, talking about off-topic things like what's the best food and the best place to visit. This is all politics because you'll find that people disagree with you. I like pictures of girls kissing each other. I like pictures of men kissing each other. And then you have people fighting about it. And this is life. And in fact, this is a reflection of real politics. The only problem with... No, it's exactly the same with politics. It's like you could tell me, hey, Alan, stop posting pictures of girls kissing each other. And I'd be like, okay, no. And they could give me a really good persuasion about why I shouldn't post that. And at the end of the day, I'd be like, all right, have a vote on it. And even if the vote passes, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. And it's the kind of the way that some people feel about politics because they want something to change and it doesn't change, even though they cry and they scream and they do things and they don't even vote. But this is life, and I think that you should vote. Even if it doesn't make a difference, it is actually making a difference, even though you can't see it right now. You're expressing yourself and you're showing that you hate your life and that you want things to change. It's like letting people just walk over you and control your life. That's no way to live. I know it just makes no sense, but it's like, you know, you've got to make your voice heard. You've got to try. You've got to keep trying because, you know, if you look at Twitter now, it's like other people are posting crazy stuff as well about politics. And it's like, we all have different opinions and I'm going to keep fighting. I mean, it's like telling me like, don't think about politics, like saying, well, I should stop playing KOF and I should play Street Fighter because it's the best game and the most popular game. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Nope. Not going to happen. I'm going to keep playing and I'm going to keep fighting for my favorite game. And my favorite waifu, Shermie, is the best. I'm imposing this on you because that's my personal opinion. And I'm going to keep saying it until you believe it. But you're not, because you're your own person as well. And you're going to fight me. And I enjoy that. Do it. Go for it. Go for broke. That's life. So anyway, that's my rant done for today. So yeah, my Twitter is going to be full of stuff and cute kittens and cosplay and whatever pansexual things to a limit, of course, you know, I'm not going to go over the limits, but anyway, it's going to be all over the place. And if you really want just game related stuff, I can't even promise Orochinagi itself will be only pure games, because I'm posting some, like, I think I'll be posting some opinion blogs there. Of course, the artwork is all over the place, and some fanfics as well. And of course, you know, we can talk about politics in games. That's still a reflection of life. So you just have to interpret what's going on from that, if that makes any sense to you. Right, that's it. That's me done for today. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Myself, I have to thank myself for doing this. I don't know why I do, because it earns no money. It really doesn't. It's absolutely pointless. But I just enjoy. I like talking. I like the sound of my own voice. And for some reason, some people like it as well. And maybe it's because I make some sense, and sometimes I don't. And that's still quite enjoyable as well. So thanks to everyone for watching. I'm sorry for taking up your time, but I hope I've raised some points that might be of interest to you. Leave a comment and we can try to discuss it. Or I might just ignore you because you might be a complete right-wing, insane person with some very biased views who are totally ignorant and don't know what the hell they're retweeting. But there we go. That is life. And we must continue. And this is what makes society. And the right to speak is a right that should not be unutilized. All right, that's me off the soapbox. You know, we do have some nice t-shirts. Did you see the hoodie? Did you see the hoodie? The new hoodie I'm going to make. Oh my days! Oh, wrong button. Ah, ha, ha, ha. It's so awesome. I'm almost got it ready. It's almost finished, but I'm going to finish that up, and I'm going to wear it, and I don't really care. Oh, Miss X coming soon. This is a hard life. It's a hard life. All right, I've really got to stop now. So in summary, Switch, KOF14, I don't know. I don't know about you. Not sure if that's really possible, but you got to tell me. Samurai Showdown, I'm kind of worried if that's going to be too easy or too difficult. I don't know if that's a real big risk, I think, for SNK. There's a hoodie, look at it. Oh, my days. And that's just the back, mate. I've got some stuff happening on the front. Oh, just wait. And SNK is taking a big risk with that, but, you know, who knows? If it's got good graphics, I think it's actually going to make a big difference rather than making it easier to play. We've got some new projects coming out from Orochinagi.com, so check out Orochinagi.com. There's too much stuff there that's just not being seen, and I know you like your social networks, but I'm going to have to drag you out there because social networks really is just for the lazy people. And I didn't pay all that money to put stuff on the website for you to forget it by next day. So get over there, check it out at least once, and that will make me happy. Thank you very much for listening. There's going to be more kittens and more cute stuff on my Twitter feed. So follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time.